Hey everyone, Sophia here for My Great Challenge. Welcome back to my channel and possibly the last episode in the DIY Maddox antique secretary makeover. Yes, it could be the last episode if all goes well. Okay, and some of you are going, oh thank God we're moving on. Or maybe not. So what do I plan on doing today? Okay, so I still have the top to do and the fretwork. What I'm going to do is start with repairing the finial on the top. Because I got some super duper glue and that's going to allow me to let it set. While the glue is setting and the whole thing is kind of clamped and whatever, then I'll do the fretwork. Once the fretwork is done, knock on wood, it's flat, I will stain it and we'll apply it to the glass. I have to clean the glass and we'll put the little baguettes back on. And once that's done, I have to sand, and that doesn't take long. And I have to sand the top because by then it should be set, and stain it a couple of times to match the red mahogany color. I could possibly end the day later on when it's nighttime already, put a coat of oil on it, of tung oil, but I don't have to do it in this video. But if I can manage to do that, sand, stain the top and put it back on after the fretwork, then the whole thing is done. And then I can move on to my next project. And my next project is the Etsy processing center, okay? That's gonna take all summer, probably through September, if not more. So we'll see. Okay, are you ready? I'm gonna go and get the fretwork from the front porch and bring it in, only because I need the clamps. And then we'll look at it, because I know you all want to know, and I do too. But then I'll work right away on the finial, and then while that sets, we'll install the fretwork, okay? Let's get started. So I'm in the kitchen and I brought in the whole apparatus that I had put together the last time to flatten the fretwork. So if you are new or you didn't watch that episode, the issue was that that particular secretary was left in the rain by the previous owner before I picked it up for free. And the fretwork warped. So instead of being nice and flat, it was warped. And I'm trying to restore, I'm sorry, that's the dishwasher. I'm trying to restore the desk secretary back to its original condition by keeping as much possible of the original pieces. So far, I haven't had to replace anything, which is a good thing. So I'm trying to not to have to replace the fretwork, and to be honest, I hope I don't have to because it's expensive. The only people who I found are willing to do it as a replacement, it's $109 for each panel in wood, in a stainable maple. It's too much. $218 plus the tax and the shipping. It's more than what that cabinet is worth, in my opinion. So what I did was wet them again and I pressed them, and they've been in this contraption for 8 days. So let's cross our fingers that it worked and it flattened them. So I don't know about you, but I am on pins and needles here, because it's really a gamble, you know? Are we ready? Here we go. It worked! I mean, I got ants, but it works. It's flat! Yes! It totally worked. Look at that. You see it? It's flat. It worked. And this one too. Awesome. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna stain them now. Let me go get the stain. So the goal was not just to flatten it. The goal was to take the part that was in the front and that was really damaged, to flip it so that the non-damaged one would be the one that shows on the front now. And then the damaged one goes to the back when you open the doors, and that's gonna get stained, all of it. But there's still some areas where you can see the fretwork is peeling off because it's old and it's been, you know, under the rain or whatever. So I'm gonna go and get my super duper glue and restain everything. Hopefully it won't show that much on the inside once it's all one color, that it's missing pieces. And before I glue anything, do you see how there's some areas where it's a little bit shiny? Okay, I'm going to lightly sand that. So that it takes the stain. This is Wood Glue Ultimate by Gorilla. There's some areas where, okay, I really need to make sure, like here and here, the fretwork doesn't fall. And done. Both sides. They just gotta dry. So let me pull this and I'm gonna put them away so that they can, you see how straight they are? I don't know if you can tell. They gotta dry. It's gonna take a while. So maybe that's the last thing I install. But yeah, that's done. So in one of the earlier videos, somebody asked me, well, why don't you put the fretwork behind the glass when you replace it so that way it doesn't get damaged? Yeah, I could do that. But if I do that, then it's no longer a colonial piece. Back in those days, they put the fretwork in front of the glass to protect the glass, because glass was very expensive to replace. And if you think about colonial America, in the earlier days, you know, the days of George Washington and all of that, which is pretty much the time period for these, maybe a little bit later, the glass was being imported, or it had to travel from far away. Boston, if you were in Virginia, or maybe Virginia to Boston, or through New York. So they had to protect the glass, because glass was hard to make, it was a specialty, and it was difficult to replace. You could replace it, but it was expensive and there was a delay. So the fretwork on original pieces is in the front of the glass. In new pieces that you see today, when you go to, I don't know, Ethan Allen or whatever, the majority of the time you'll see the fretwork behind the glass or between two glass panels, sometimes in front of the glass. But for pieces this time period, the fretwork is in the front of the glass. So I'm not going to put it in the back. And I don't anticipate, should knock on wood and not say that there's going to be a flood where this piece is going to get wet again. So it's going to stay in the front. And now I am ready to go and start working on the finial. Okay, here's the top, and this is the finial, and that was repaired, obviously, because that goes like this. Okay, now the piece that's here, technically this should be detaching, but it's really glued. I'm not going to try, but what I'm going to do is definitely clean out. Oh, this comes out, so I got to glue that. I'm going to clean everything in here and re-glue the whole thing. I got to be very careful with this piece right here that's in the front, because it's really thin. And what else? Okay, I think that's it. brushing off all the dust. I gotta vacuum the rest of the desk, I mean the counter. It is hot. I'm hot. I think it's gonna look good. Yeah? Okay, so this has to dry. And this one, same thing. Oops. Yeah, I really think I'm gonna finish it today. When I'm done cleaning and I have vacuumed, I'll start gluing parts back. And once it's entirely, hold on. You might want to be able to see me. Once it's entirely glued and it's set, supposedly sets in 15 minutes, I'll give it a little bit more. I'll start staining it. And then I'll see how many coats I need. I may just need one coat. I'm back. I had to turn the AC on. It got really hot. Okay, I'm gonna reattach everything and we're gonna let it sit. And while it's sitting, I'm gonna do the fretwork. I'm telling you, I'm done today. This last episode. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna have to hire Willie. Come on, because I need somebody to hold. Alright, so this is the first fretwork. Let me look at it. There's one that's uglier than the other. This one is nice. So that's the one that's gonna go facing forward. Mm-hmm. So I just put this one right here. Right? In here. Or is it not fitting? Why is it not fitting?
I think maybe it goes to the other one. Like maybe they're different sizes.
Okay, let me go get the other one. Hold on, let's put this one right here. That's silly. So they're not the exact same size. Okay, be right back. All right, so you're saying that they're slightly different, right?
Maybe.
Okay, so this is the one that was really damaged. Okay, so we're putting the damaged part towards the inside, so when you close it, you only see the good part. Okay, so let's put it back in. And you are correct, they are slightly different. Does that have something? Oh, did you hear that? Why are they not fitting? It's not fitting, Willie.
I don't know. Warts too. Maybe, is it like, does the glass go behind it or in front of it?
Yeah, the glass goes behind it. That is bizarre. What is it not fitting? Or maybe because it has to be pressure?
Maybe.
It's still warped. Look at that. It's back to being warped.
I don't know anything about wood.
Why is it back to being warped?
Maybe when you were doing, like, putting the stuff on it, it warped.
That is bizarre. Why is it back to being warped? No. No, I think it's just that they got so damaged by the rain when they were outside that they expanded.
Right.
So other than slightly cutting the sides of it, which I'm not gonna do, we're gonna have to keep it that way. Slightly warped. Oh man, that's disappointing, huh?
Figured it out.
Alright, well, yeah, but it's still warped. Okay. It's not bad, right? I mean, can you tell? Can't really tell. But I do have a piece now because it was warping again. I have two pieces here that I have to gently glue before they pop out. Okay. Alright, let's see if the other one warps too. Okay, which one is the prettiest? It's this one. Ah, it's gonna warp too, right? Is that weird?
Yeah. You'd think since they both were out in the rain that the cabinet would...
This one, not as much. Let me see. No, not as much. Okay, so it does look 100% better. But I am very perplexed as to why this is warped again. So what I'm going to do is try to fix like this one, because when it rewarped, it broke these. It's a pain, isn't it? Are they supposed to be, I've never seen one in the wild, okay? I mean, I've seen them, but from far away, so I've never really been close to one. So if you have one at home, can you look at them and let me know, are they warped in the front or are they super, super flat? Because I'm very intrigued. I'm wondering if they're meant to be warped. It's less warped, I'll have to be honest. It's not as bad as it was, and then they really are flat here, but this and this, and I don't want to, I said I was going to put glue dots. If I put one here and one here, it would work, but then I would have to, I don't want to do that. I'm going to keep them slightly warped, but it's 100% better. And I like that it's actually coming out darker, right? Look at that. Okay, let's go and stain the top. Behind the scene, I did the repair work on that crack that was right here. So I can just go ahead and start staining. Yeah, it's on. Not going anywhere. All right, let me clean it again. I do want to sand this a little bit. Oh no, I just realized I didn't press the button. So anyway, I started staining it. It's been a day. Okay. So I'm saturating it, right? But what I'm going to do after a little bit is that I'm going to remove all the excess. Here we go. So I finished it. Now don't judge the top by its color. It's still absorbing the stain, so it's going to look a little bit darker. But here it is. Here is my secretary. I'm going to turn on the lights on the ceiling so you can see it a little bit better in warmer color. Yeah, it's a little bit more golden. So the top again needs to absorb more of the stain, and I still haven't put the tongue oil on it, so we gotta wait a little bit, but otherwise here we are. It's finished and it's looking pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. So let me close it so you can see the top. Drawers. And the fretwork. I'm going to open it so you can see the inside. I did stain the areas where I had to hammer. Yeah, it's perfect. Now it's not its final position in the living room. It's going to be moved. possibility for it to go over there. We shall see. I'm just glad I finished it so I can move on to something else. So I did put the shims underneath on the feet so that it is even now. Alright, well, there you go. I finished it. And, well, I finished it. The only thing I need to do is the tung oil on the top. But again, I need to let it absorb. And even if it's still darker, the fretwork is darker. And the bottom part is also darker. So it actually looks really good. And now that this is darker and I have the chinoiserie in the back, it really does look like a chinoiserie custom piece. I love it. I really do. I think it looks phenomenal. And hold up. Move this. Oh, this is great. This is really, really good. It's got that lacquer finish on it, which is, and by that I mean it doesn't have the all the dips and pokes and dents that the wood had. It looks really good. I'm very happy with it. I hope you are too. Overall, it was not a hard project. It really wasn't. It just took a lot of elbow grease, you know, and patience and working in stages. I didn't fully screw in the top because it's still wet, it's still tacky, but I wanted to put it on top so you could see the final product, because otherwise I'm going to do another video with me just putting the tung oil. It's silly. So I'm not filling it up yet. It's going to stay like this for some time. I have to figure out how I'm going to redesign this living room. So don't expect any how I'm styling my secretary anytime soon. I will use the inside because I have a lot of stuff to do for mail, and I'm going to use that. And I'm still on the lookout for a chair. I'm still looking for the perfect chair. You know, but that, again, I'm patient. I may find it 2 years from now, don't care. As long as I find a chair. So Willie and I were talking about the fretwork earlier, and guess what? It really doesn't bother us anymore that it's warped, because it looks more cohesive. It's like a one piece. It doesn't have broken pieces or anything. You can barely see it. It's about maybe a half an inch above the glass. The glass been cleaned. It's what I wanted. That's all I can say. It's just what I wanted. So I think I did a pretty good job for my very first time restoring an antique piece of furniture. It's giving me the courage I needed to go in the garage, pull out the Duncan 5 and see if maybe I can restore that table. even though there's parts of it where the feet, I believe, have been chewed by a puppy. The issue with that table is that we don't have the extensions for it. And it extends to... There's a video at some point on the channel where I extend it, and it's nuts. Maybe it's 18 or 16, I'm not sure, but it's definitely above 12. It's really long. But I don't have any extension. So what am I going to do with that table once I, restore it? And I'm no pro, so I wouldn't be able to sell it to, somebody who knows about this stuff. But this is beautiful. Scott, come and look at it. He hasn't seen it yet.
Pretty.
What do you think?
Yeah, that is a bit darker up there, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's gonna absorb, but that's all right because this is dark too.
No, I think it works though.
It works,
even
right?
if it doesn't lighten up, I think it still works.
Yeah, I still have to put in the tongue oil to make it shiny like the rest,
Right.
and that's gonna make it less dark, I think.
Yeah.
I put the shim. Edward and I put the shims, so it's not tilted anymore.
Oh, because the floor dips?
Oh, at least 5 inches.
Really?
Oh yeah, that was nuts.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's because it's near the staircase. I guess there's like more.
Well, there's going to be more support on the staircase.
Yeah, exactly. So the rest kind of, I don't know. So you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. You found this, or did you get this on Facebook, Mark?
You remember the lady we went to get it in Nutley?
No.
You and I, and it was an older lady with the husband. He was doing something with the yard, and he helped you put it in. She was gonna sell it, and then she needed it out by Thursday, and I couldn't pick it
I
up.
vaguely remember. Like the guy was asking me about what the kids were doing in college.
Right,
and-
right. Okay, so she put it on the side of the road of the house, and it rained on it, and then she says you can take it for free if you want. So
Right.
I picked it up, and
Right.
we brought it in here. I think it was last summer. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. So free. Can you tell the fretwork is warped still? It came out flat, but when you put the glass on it, it doesn't fit.
Is it because it compresses the?
Yeah.
All right, so then it was probably built knowing that.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it expanded. Is it possible? The only way to make it flat is to cut it on the side. I don't want to get
Yeah,
it
I
off.
wouldn't do that. It doesn't bother me that it pops out.
No, no. Does it have a chinoiserie look now?
A who?
A chinoiserie? Like an Asian chinoiserie look?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, it looks very American.
Alright. Darn it. I missed that then. Oh, it's the inside.
Ooh. Yeah, see that? I mean, that's very American.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
It's awesome. Awesome.
yeah, it's pretty.
Alright, thanks. Glad you like it. So, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this series. Maybe if you have a piece of furniture that you want to redo, I gave you courage to do it, or ideas, and that would be it. Thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget to share it if you know somebody who may like it or is looking for ideas on how to refinish their secretary or any other piece of furniture. All the links for my Esty Shops are down below. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at mygreatchallenge. If you want to support my projects here and also support exclusive content on Patreon, you can join us on Patreon at patreon.com/mygreatchallenge. And that's about it. So I will see you in the next video and my next project. Thank you for watching. Bye!